Ryerson, and for my video essay today, I will be looking at Shakespeare's Taming of the Shrew and how polysemous words appear within and change the dynamic of this play, as well as how they highlight and show how language can affect perception, gender norms, as well as psychological associations in the world and in the world of the play itself. And I do apologize, I have my script right next to me just so I can stay on track. Now that I've said this word, you're probably thinking, what the hell does that mean? Well, polysemy is a word that means a word has multiple meanings. And so this is a tool that Shakespeare uses often. He uses it frequently throughout Taming the Shrew, and specifically uses it in Act 2, Scene 1, starting line 186, and again in 277 of this play, when Kate and Petruchio, the two leads of the play, are first introducing themselves. Now, for their first introduction, I will read the lines between them. "Good morrow, Kate, for that is your name, I hear." "Kate, well, you have heard, but something hard of hearing. They call me Catherine that do talk of me." "You lie, in faith, for you are called plain Kate, and bonny Kate, and sometimes Kate the Cursed. But Kate, the prettiest Kate in all of Christendom, Kate of Kate Hall, my super dainty Kate. For take this of me, Kate, of my consolation, hearing of thy mildness praised in every town, thy virtues spoke of, and thy beauty sounded, yet not so deeply as to thee belongs. Myself am moved to woo thee for my wife." And now I will read one of Petruchio's lines a few pages later. He says, "For I am born to tame you, Kate, and bring you from a wild Kate to a Kate conformable as other household Kates. Here comes your father, never make denial, and I must and will have Catherine for my wife." And so for these lines, it brings attention our first case of polysemy. This scene takes away the one thing that is truly hers, her name. And in Shakespearean times, the word Kate means many different things. It could mean a cat, it could mean a cake, it could mean another type of pastry, or it could mean a bird, or even specifically a finch. Kate means so many different things, and the audience would have known that when he was delivering those lines, he meant to minimize her in all of her worth. All of these other meanings for this word are small, unnecessary, they're dainty, they're not strong, they're weak, and unvaluable. He's taking away everything she is by calling her sort of by her name. And so in the second line I read by Petruchio, he is calling her a tameable cat, which frequently throughout history, cats have been seen as a figure for many different things. In ancient Greek times, cats were seen as a divine symbol of grace, elegance. They were seen for fertility and femininity. But he wants her to be a symbol of nothing more than his prowess, to show that he can conquer the unconquerable. But history shows that Kates are much more than that. They are often connected to nurturing fertile nature, independence, mischief, divinity, goddesses, independence, and they're often associated with the moon. Association plays a big factor in understanding this play. The sun and moon scene in Act 4, Scene 5, line 1, the protagonists argue about whether it is the sun or the moon that they see. When thinking about the associations that come with the sun and moon, it alludes to many of the different dynamics between the leads. And after some research, I have narrowed it down to 3 main powers for the moon, as well as 4 for the sun. And so the moon, we have feminine power, we have change, and we have mystery. And then for the sun, we have masculine power, renewal, authority, as well as hope. And so for the feminine power, for the moon, we have cycles, fertility, as well as quietness. For change, we have phases and the passing of time. And then for the mystery, we have the dark side, the unconscious, the unknown, as well as magic. Now looking back to the sun, for masculine power, it is power with action. It is focus, it is strength, it is loudness. For renewal, we have a new day, new rules, the changing of the seasons. Renewal gives life. For authority, it gives and can take life. It is the power of the gods and the power of nature. For hope and joy, it is a new beginning and a light at the end of the tunnel. And so with language, we tend to gender words and use those associations to form what we know and think about what those words mean. In the case of Taming of the Shrew, the moon represents Kate and her feminine power and in being a Kate. The sun then would represent Petruchio in his masculine power and in his opposing Kate. Now, I know that it is an odd thing to say that Kate is in line with the moon, whereas it usually represents a quiet nature. However, both Kate and Petruchio are very loud people. They have chose to challenge the societal expectations together. And so when looking at the sun and moon scene, it is apparent that Petruchio begins to act crazy. He wants to embody the wild feminine spirit that Kate was showing earlier on in the play. He chooses to become the moon. And in becoming the moon, he allows Kate the opportunity to do something she's never done. He allows her the chance to become the sun, to channel that masculine energy, to calm the moon, to make it rest. She becomes the sun. And in doing this, the moon becoming the sun and the sun becoming the moon, it shifts society. It flips it on its head. And so now we want to look at the mystery aspect of the moon. The moon has many mysterious aspects to it. However, I want to mainly focus on Kate's mystery within herself. Kate doesn't know how she wants to escape from the societal expectations placed upon her. She doesn't know how to get out, yet with Petruchio, he's able to give her a new hope, a new beginning, and use his ability to challenge authority to break her from those societal expectations and give her a new life away from that. And now, if not for the polysemy and associations within this play, all of these aspects regarding the shifting of the societal roles and the impact of having them argue over who is the sun and who is the moon would be lost. These key aspects, meaning association and polysemy, allow Shakespeare to shape the world as he wants it to be and build it in a way to make the audience question how they see the world. And so these associations allow us to form our society, whether fictional or real, in a way that's based off of the words around us, the words we use to communicate. They transform how we see the world, whether in or out of Shakespeare. Thank you.